Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to those listening and watching this episode of the Talkers Podcast. James Noble here with my brother Jeremiah. What's going on?
What's up? What's up? How we doing?
We're doing good, doing good. It's been a great, great college basketball season. We're
Yes.
narrowing down to the very, very end.
Hmm.
Um, the Final Four is set for our men's tournament. The national championship is set for the women's tournament.
Yep.
But before we get into that, we have to talk about an amazing, crazy trade that went down in the NFL just a couple of days ago. I'm gonna break down those details for us.
For sure. So we basically had seemed like to me this trade came out of nowhere. Um,
Yeah,
but the Buffalo Bills are finalizing a trade to send four-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Stefon Diggs to the Texans for a 2025 second round pick. Adam Schefter reported that. And the Texans will get Diggs and a 2024 six-round pick and a 2025 pick as well from the Bills. So that's crazy trade. Basically went for nothing.
yeah.
Well, what was your initial reaction to that?
I was shocked, you know, throughout the this past season with the Bills, we knew that something was off with
Yeah,
them, their relationship. It actually started the end of last season, well,
yeah,
technically 2 seasons ago now.
hmm,
But the with Diggs, getting in Josh's face and just
yeah,
his antics on the sideline, not getting the ball, things like that.
hmm,
I mean, he is a diva receiver,
yeah,
so we gotta take that into consideration. And we saw this past season, the last 9 games, his production dropped completely. Joe Brady came in, offensive coordinator, and they pretty much changed the offensive scheme.
yeah,
Started to run the ball more. His production dipped, but they started to win games, and I think that was the key to it. They were starting to win games with his production so low, so I guess they decided to trade him because of that.
yeah. I mean that sounds right to me. And like you said, it seems like the chemistry just wasn't there anymore. And it's clear Josh is their guy. They're sticking with Josh no matter what. Um,
Yeah,
and the trade caught me by surprise as well. I just think now for the Bills, I don't know what direction you go in now because Diggs is not the only one who left. I mean, you lost other key pieces
yeah.
in free agency and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what exactly the Bills are trying to do. Maybe they'll draft um, some more receiving core in the draft coming up, but I'm not sure exactly how you move forward now with giving Josh weapons.
Yeah, I do believe that they will draft at least one wide receiver.
Yeah.
We know it's a heavy wide receiver draft.
Hmm.
Um, and so, a lot of talent. I think they're gonna well, I was looking at their wide receiver room. They have a lot of speed. They have a lot
Yeah.
of like speed guys.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're gonna run and gun, two tight end sets with Dawson Knox and Kincaid. They're two tight
Hmm.
ends who are pretty good in my opinion. A lot of two tight end sets, running the ball. James Cook. They may get another running back in the draft just to supplement him
Hmm.
so he won't burn out. But, you know, they lost a lot and they really lost a lot on defense.
Right.
I think they lost five captains on their team from last season.
Hmm.
So, really just going to be relying on Josh to take them wherever they want to go. But I do want to say this. We got to stop with the Patrick Mahomes comparisons. I'm seeing a lot of a lot of things on Twitter and a lot of news media saying that, oh, this is Josh's opportunity to win a Super Bowl now that they've gotten rid of their top wide receiver. Like we got to stop. Like, this is Josh Allen is not Patrick Mahomes, never has been, never will be. And this is not just, me coming as a
Yeah.
Chiefs fan. It's like we got to stop that.
It's true. No, I've been seeing it, and most of the rebuttals I've seen have been shutting it down, which is good. But
Yeah,
it's it's crazy the whole you know Mahomes didn't need Tyreek, so Allen doesn't need Diggs, and that's just
yeah,
not the same at all.
we gotta stop that. And I think like it's funny. It's funny that it's funny because the tweet that got Diggs traded was the Josh Allen. Is he essential? Is Diggs essential to Josh Allen's success? Yes. Does he need Stefon Diggs to succeed? No. And Diggs said, "You sure?"
Right.
The day after that, he got traded.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that was what got him traded,
Hmm.
but I think it was just a funny coincidence. But I mean, we saw it 4 years ago. Once came there, Josh
Yeah.
Allen's production went up,
Yeah.
and maybe that's the fact that Josh was like such a young wide receiver at the time. He needed that superstar wide receiver to get him where he is now, and
Yeah.
maybe now he can, you know, succeed where he is with what he has. Maybe we'll see. Don't know. But it's interesting trade. Uh, from the Bills' perspective, we will see what they do.
Yeah.
But from let's look at it from Houston's perspective,
Hmm.
because I think this solidifies the fact that they won free agency. No question about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Texans' new look offense now is the playmakers they have. If they can all stay healthy is incredible. I mean, you have Joe Mixon, who they got, Diggs now in the trade. Still have Nico Collins and Tank Dell, which both of them kind of were in and out as far as injuries, but
Yeah,
when they were there, the production was very high and good. So, I mean, I think now the problem is, can you gel those guys together? Can the chemistry be there? Can they all get on board with CJ and try and get it going? And I think they can. I think they will. They got a good coach. Um,
yeah,
so I think it'll come together. I still think they might need a little bit on defense. We'll see what they can do um, in the draft, but their offense, man, is going to be. It was already a problem. Now it's going to be
right.
even.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think they'll draft a DB. Um, Cooper DeJean from Iowa. He's going to be available. Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama. Those are two top corners that
Yeah,
possibly looking at more than likely going late first round, and that's where Houston's going to be picking. With one of their picks anyway, their own pick. Um, so more than likely that's who they'll draft, and I think it'll be a good fit. Offense is set. Offense is set, and I think that's one reason why you go get a Diggs. You don't necessarily have to draft a wide receiver in the first round anyway. You can focus on defense, get better there, get a corner, get a safety, get somebody on the other side of Will Anderson who can solidify the D line. I mean, they already made it to the playoffs.
yeah,
So, they're just, they're just moving on up from here. Um, and they're just being really smart as a franchise. And
yeah.
typically, we didn't see that with Houston before,
Mhm.
with Deshaun and or Derek Carr, that those other iterations of those teams. But now that they got their superstar quarterback on his
Mhm.
rookie deal, you gotta make moves to try to win now.
I, I,
And go ahead, yeah,
I want to make a point about that because I think other franchises need to take notes at what the Texans are doing right now because you see the
Absolutely.
Texans and you see with their GM and coaches, they're all on board, all on one accord, basically trying to figure out how the team can be the best they can do. You look at teams like Chicago, Jacksonville,
Yeah.
Minnesota. I mean, I could go on and on. Just not being smart with their QB
Yeah.
and trying to figure out who can play QB when they had good ones. And the Jags situation, like get Trevor help.
Yeah.
And, Fields is not obviously with the Bears anymore, but still, that whole situation shouldn't have ended how it did. I mean, it's franchises that are coming together, all being in one room, making decisions together for the benefit of the QB. I mean, that's who it starts. Who it
Right.
starts with. So Texans are being really, really smart, and I'm excited to see them too. And another point too, don't they still have Schultz, the tight end as
Yeah,
well,
yeah, Dr. Schultz, yeah, he's still there. So he
still
that was
there?
another key call to the offense.
Right. You still have Noah Brown as well, don't you?
I don't know about Noah Brown, but possibly I haven't seen him. I haven't seen his name like as being picked up anywhere else, so it's
Right.
possible.
Yeah. So I mean, that's offense is loaded, man.
Yeah,
Spread it all across the field. So we'll see what they can do.
I honestly, I'm gonna be watching the Texans every game.
Yeah.
They're gonna be probably the most fun team to watch,
Oh yeah.
most exciting team. I already, of course, I like CJ Stroud coming out of college
Right.
from Ohio State. I thought he should have been the
Mhm.
number one overall pick,
Absolutely.
but yeah, but they're gonna be fun to watch, and I'm excited to see them. So they definitely won a trade. I think um, you know giving up a second round pick next year, not even
Right.
this year, this
Next year.
next year. And then another smart thing that they did too was they basically front loaded Diggs' contract, gave him pretty much everything guaranteed, so that
Mhm.
next season he can become a free agent. So it's like a not a rental, but if
Yeah.
it doesn't work, it's okay.
Yeah.
Next season
Just
you're a free agent.
right. Just in case it doesn't work out, we can still ship you off, go somewhere else if he starts getting in CJ's face.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Hey, I was
And
gonna say we gotta get Malik on on the call and get him
yeah.
talking Texans. Definitely.
No. We definitely are. For those of you who don't know, we're going to be doing a divisional forum for every division in the NFL
Yep.
after the draft, maybe closer to around training camp starts. We're going to
Yep.
be every division. We're going to have a forum. We're going to have our friends and guests on the show to just talk about their favorite teams and talk about where their outlook is for the season up ahead. So that's going to be fun. Look forward to that.
For sure.
Um, and so as we transition to our next topic, make sure you all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you to those who have subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you see
Sure.
all of our content that we're posting. It's been great sports this spring so far. As we push into the summer, things are only going to get crazier. NBA playoffs are about to gear up, play-in games. The NFL draft is coming up in 2 weeks. So, look forward to that content regarding the NFL draft. But first and foremost, let's talk about the women's Final Four. Tonight, we had South Carolina versus NC State and Iowa versus UConn. Um, two great games. We saw the best team, South Carolina, undefeated.
Yep.
They steamrolled NC State, and their center down low was dominating. I think she had 22 and 11,
Mhm.
leading their squad to continue undefeated season. And South Carolina is looking to stamp the one of the first undefeated seasons, completely in a while since UConn did it back in the day.
Yeah, no,
And next game, Iowa squeaker
yeah,
gutted it out against UConn, and we see Caitlin Clark and Hannah Stokey. They led the way. It was a very good game. Your thoughts on those two games?
yeah. No, I mean, I about what I expected from South Carolina.
Yeah,
37-0. To be honest, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was from the start of it, I would have just bet on them to win because they haven't lost in I don't know how long.
right.
So yeah, about what I expected from South Carolina. They got a lot of talent, great coach. Um,
Yeah,
NC State really just didn't have the talent to match up with South Carolina. So it's about what I
yeah.
expected. Um, the Iowa game, UConn played it perfectly. I mean,
They
there's
played well.
there's not much to really say as far as what UConn did wrong. Um, Obviously, you have the late foul there, offensive foul that's maybe a little
Yeah,
questionable. Maybe some other refs will let it go. Um, I hate to say, they got robbed, but Paige herself said that you don't win or lose the game off one play um,
yeah,
after the game. So good game from UConn, but I think the whole world wanted to see Iowa versus South Carolina. So we got we got
yeah,
Caitlin Clark versus the 37-0 team. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be a crazy final.
yeah. And you mentioned it. They haven't. South Carolina hasn't lost in a while. Can you guess who their last loss was to?
Was it Iowa?
It was Iowa. That was the last team to beat
Wow.
them. I think it was last season, but
Yeah.
they meet again in the national championship game. Best
Mhm.
player versus best team.
Yeah.
It's Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be a great game. We'll see if South Carolina can guard Clark, and we'll see if Iowa can guard Cardoso down low.
Yeah.
Um, going to be interesting game. Two different dynamics. If South Carolina can defend Caitlin Clark, I mean, in tonight's game, she only had 21 points. This is technically a bad game for her.
Yeah.
She's capable of giving you double that. She
Right.
had 41 or 42 in the Elite Eight game. So,
Yeah.
it's a shame UConn wasn't able to capitalize on that.
Right.
Their great defensive plan that they had. But I will say this, the team stepped up. Iowa stepped up. They had a lot of players that were able to get some buckets.
Yeah.
Um, I think her last name was Morgan. She had like three straight fadeaways in the paint that really just helped the team get
Yeah.
that lead. And UConn did claw back, but that call at the end has really hurt them. And you know kids, I'll say this, kids, if you're watching this, box out on the free throws. Box out, box out on the free throws.
Yep.
You cannot give up an offensive rebound late in the game. You
No.
gotta crash the boards. And that's just fundamental basketball and
Yeah.
heart. You gotta go get the ball. And
Hmm.
UConn wasn't able to do that tonight. So yeah, that was tough. But they'll learn from it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna see a great game for sure. And like you said, this is what the world wanted to see. Best
Yeah.
player
No.
versus the best team, Iowa versus South Carolina.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's interesting, like you said, UConn really couldn't capitalize. I mean, Caitlin was 3 for 11 from
Yeah.
three, 7 for 18 from the field. So that's not a great game for her. And
No.
it shows that I think the defensive game plan worked. for
Yeah,
most
for
of the
sure.
game for UConn. But I just think I don't know for South Carolina, if you can hold Caitlin to maybe under 25, your guards have to score. And
Yeah,
I really think Paige had a decent game. She had 17 points, but your guards have to step up and score. If you hold her to under 20, 25 points, the game's around the 60s, 70s, you have to make sure your guards are in double figures. Otherwise, it's going to be tough because they got the experience. They're riding on
yeah,
Kaylin. They got chemistry. They got everything they need to be successful. So you have to make sure you score, put the ball in the back in the net, and yeah, see what they can do. But yeah, man, I don't know how to pick that one. I want to go South Carolina just because they're undefeated, but I don't know if you can bet against Caitlin. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's one versus one. It's the best
Yeah,
against the best. It's really a coin flip. You
yeah,
know, if if Caitlyn gets hot early though, South Carolina will they, they better watch out because
yeah.
she she thrives off momentum,
Right.
and once she gets hot, she's hot and she stays hot.
Hmm.
And so it's like, I don't know how to pick it either. It's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great story either way. Whoever wins, you got South Carolina undefeated team, and then you got Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, lost the national championship game last year to
Yeah,
LSU. Now back to winning it this season. So it's gonna be a great story either way. It's
yeah,
gonna be a great game. Looking forward to it. Y'all check out the women's national championship game
for sure.
Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ABC.
Mhm.
Check it out and let us know down in the comment section who you think is gonna win. Is it gonna be
Yeah,
Caitlin Clark at Iowa, or is it gonna be South Carolina, Dawn Staley led team there in South Carolina?
yes.
Um, Speaking of national championships, we've got our men's Final Four in Phoenix, Arizona,
Yes, we do.
starting tomorrow as we're recording this. And
Mm.
let's give the people a little bit of a recap as far as the men's tournament goes.
Yeah.
We have UConn versus Alabama.
Hmm.
That's going to be the second game tomorrow. And then we have Purdue versus Cinderella NC
Mm.
State.
Wow.
Jeremiah, I don't know if you saw my video that I posted a while back, but I said this could happen. I said the Cinderella team that starts in the tournament wins it, carries that momentum into the tournament,
Hmm.
and NC State did it. They were the Cinderella of the tourney this year,
Yeah.
and we see them here. They're in the Final Four.
Man, like I have a lot to say about this. Um, so looking at the four teams we have, right? So it's UConn, Alabama, like you mentioned. That's a 1 versus 4, with
Mm-hmm.
Alabama being the 4. Then we have NC State and Purdue. It's 11 versus
Yeah,
a 1. Okay. Now being the 11th seed, going against a 1 seed, and compared to the other two teams, NC State definitely had the hardest road. Look through the teams they
absolutely,
beat. They beat
no
Texas
question.
Tech. Okay, that was a 6 seed. Oakland, which they were 14, but they were a great team. I mean, they got
Yeah,
way further than they should have. Marquette, which is the 2, had an incredible season. Came up short against NC State. Tough game. Duke. I'm not going to get into that game, but
yeah, that's not.
we understand what happened there. So
Yeah,
NC State, they're battle tested. They've played competition, won the ACC before the tournament, like you mentioned. They've been riding it high.
beat
I don't
North Carolina and Duke to
and
win
Duke,
that.
right? Exactly. So, man, for me, I don't see how NC State loses this. I mean, maybe they're young, sure, but they have
You
talent.
going upset? You going
I'm man,
upset?
yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
here's why. NC State has the best defense out of the four teams, I believe. Secondly,
mm,
O'Connell can get hot. Okay. And you have DJ Burns Jr.
maybe zero.
Baby Zach Randolph, literally, yes. Man,
Yeah,
this dude came out of nowhere. I didn't even know who he was before the season
no, I
started.
don't. I don't
No
know.
clue who he was.
I don't know if a lot of people did.
And now the thing is, man, 1 through 5, any of them can score. And
Yeah,
against Marquette, you know how many points DJ Burns had? 4.
really?
4 points against Marquette. They won by 10. So it's
That's
like
crazy.
he doesn't even have to do a lot. The team can spread it around. They can all step up, man. I think NC State beats Purdue, and I think they win it. But interesting thing about it is that everywhere I'm seeing, everywhere I'm looking, nobody's giving NC State a shot. And I'm
They
just like,
haven't all season.
they got right against every team. Every team, they have a 10% chance to win, 20% chance to win. They have a 10% chance again against Purdue. That's what ESPN is giving them. And I'm just like, they're not here by luck.
Right?
So
No, definitely not.
I don't know why they're not giving them a shot. I understand Purdue's been playing well, and they're maybe not frauds like we thought they were in the beginning of the season, but still, this NC State team is the real deal.
They are. I mean, you the amount of I think they won 11 straight, if I'm not mistaken, or no, wait, 9 straight.
Not straight.
Um, 5 in the ACC tournament and
Mm,
4 in the NCAA tournament to get to this point.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean they're legit, and I think it might have been one of the pundits. It said that you know NC State is not an 11 seed.
yeah.
Typically, if you win the ACC, the least you're gonna get is a 4 seed.
Mhm.
So, um,
And maybe they were
that,
just going off record on that because their record
yeah,
wasn't great, but
yeah. I agree that they should have been maybe an 8.
yeah,
You know, the the fact that they went through that gauntlet of the ACC, 5 games, 5 days,
mhm,
to beat the teams you beat, uh, you deserve a better ranking, a better seed. But that's neither here nor there at this point. Um, so you look at it, they're not a true 11 seed, but
no,
I don't know, man. It's going to be a battle of the bigs for sure. Zach Edey versus DJ Burns,
yeah,
and he is a big body, but he's not. Zach Edey's just got him height wise,
right.
but he may be able to get him in foul trouble. You just
It's true.
never know. Um, it's going to be interesting. This is the game I'm most interested in is because I want to see how it plays out with those two
Yeah,
bigs down low and
right.
what each team is going to do to try to nullify the other.
Mhm. I think
The
you mentioned it. I think the key's foul trouble. I really do.
Yeah, Edie's bigger, taller,
Mhm.
but DJ is more crafty.
Right.
He's better footwork, um, a little bit more shifty.
Yeah.
So see how it goes. It's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna take Purdue though. I just think this is their year. They're determined to get there this year.
Yeah.
Um, they're on their Virginia arc
Yeah.
after losing last year in the first round. Um, Two-time player of the year, Zach Edey.
Mhm.
He's trying to, you know, become one of the best college. basketball players ever win a national championship.
Yeah.
Uh, I think this is their year. Cinderella typically don't see the Cinderella make it to the championship game.
Right.
Um, so I'm gonna take Purdue in this one, but I think it's gonna be a good game for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely going to be a great game. I feel like two keys is for NC State. You can't let Edie get 40. I mean, you
No, no, not
cannot.
at all.
It's the only reason why Tennessee lost to Purdue is because he had 14 straight. Cannot let that happen. I mean, if you have to get into foul trouble, do it. You cannot
Yeah,
let that.
you got
Um,
you got foul. You got a lot of people on that bench that can rack up some fouls, and if that's
yeah,
the game you got to play, then maybe that's the key. Maybe that's the game plan. Um, Double, triple team, make other people shoot.
right,
So we'll
for sure.
see.
Yeah, we'll see. And for Purdue, I think the key is limit Burns Jr. as much as you can, but you got to watch out for DJ Horn. I mean, I don't want to not, I don't want to dismiss him
Yeah,
completely because he's a key factor in the NC State team as well. So
for sure.
got to watch out for those two. And like you mentioned, man, it's fundamentals. It's simple, but you got to box out. Like
Yeah,
with these bigs, rebounds is huge. So I mean, got to make
absolutely.
sure you're doing the fundamentals as well.
Yep. So let's transition to the next game. The number one overall seed, UConn Huskies, the
Mm-hmm.
defending champions, going against Alabama. Did you see Alabama getting out of that West bracket?
No, not at all. Um, in our group chat, I let everybody know I deleted the tournament challenge app right before the Sweet 16. I think it was. So
Yeah.
no, I definitely did not have them going this far. Alabama definitely was a sneaky one, a
Hmm.
4 seed, but not the team I expected, um, especially from the SEC to be
Right.
in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Final Four. So no, definitely didn't expect the Crimson Tide to be there. But man, I think I think they got their hands full. I think it's really going to be a tough one. But
Yeah.
Alabama's played some tough competition as well. So I mean, I'm not going to say they're not up for it. They're not ready for the moment. But um, I think UConn's got it, man. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's UConn has just been dominant. They've won their games by an average of 27.8 points,
Hmm.
and that's from first round to Elite Eight.
Yeah,
Going against the competition that they have, I mean, the Illinois, they destroyed Illinois.
yeah,
Like they made Illinois look like a mid major,
yeah.
bro. They
D2 school.
yes, bro, yes. Like
Yeah,
the 30-0 run was just ridiculous that they put on them. It
crazy.
was like, oh yeah.
Mm,
But I will say this: Alabama can score. They were the highest scoring team in the Elite Eight. They
yeah.
scored 89 points, while everybody else was 77, 75.
Hmm.
And I think the the key for Alabama is their scoring.
Yeah,
Their 3-point shooting. They get it from a lot of different places. Nate Oates runs a really a NBA type offense where it's led by the scoring
yeah.
guard, um a lot of guys that can shoot from the perimeter,
Hmm.
perimeter bigs, and so if they can get Klingon out of the paint,
Yeah,
get him in some pick and roll sets, shoot the three ball well, they can get hot early.
yeah.
They can they can hang with UConn because they can score and that's their that's their that's their game. They play
Right.
offense. They play fast. But UConn's defense is they when they lock in,
Yeah.
bro, it's clamped.
Yeah.
And we saw it against Illinois, and granted, I think Illinois, I think their game plan was flawed. They tried to go at Klingon too much,
Yeah.
and they missed every shot down low in the paint that they
Mhm.
tried to take,
Yeah.
and the game plan was just flawed. They probably should have, done something different. But once that 30-0 run hit, you just,
Can't do
it
anything.
ballooned out of control, and they couldn't do anything about it. But I'm gonna take UConn, and just because it's what I want to see. I want to see best versus the best again.
Yeah.
Just like the women's, I
Right.
want to see I want to see Purdue versus UConn.
Yeah.
Best team versus best player again. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's what it's gonna be. You know, that's what I'm going for. Give me UConn.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. What's interesting, man, I think you might be in the minority on that because I feel like personally, the entire world is rooting for NC State. I get they're the Cinderella, but they're
Yeah.
just
No. I,
they're just a really likable team. I think
yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
is rooting for them. So
I agree with that. I think, DJ Burns, he just, we saw him, just smiling and laughing,
yeah,
after they won that game, and as the game was ending, you just saw him just joyous, and you know the Cinderella people like that, and
yeah,
that's what March is all about. It's about the upsets, it's about the Cinderellas, and people really gravitate towards that.
yeah,
That's what it's all about. So I definitely understand if I'm in the minority with that, and
yeah.
people liking NC State, but
Right.
gotta this tournament has been interesting though, because it was a lot more chalk than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, what chalk means is that it's basically just the better teams winning for the
Right.
most part. Uh,
Yeah.
and so, um, we saw Clemson succeed. We saw NC State. We saw Oakland. They got to the second round, but really those Cinderellas dropped off after the second round. It was pretty much chalk after that, which was interesting. I would have liked to see a little bit more upsets. The 1 and 2 seeds both made it to the second weekend in
Mhm.
every division bracket. So that was interesting. I thought it was a decent tournament, but we'll see how these last two games go out. Go to see what I really think about the entire tournament as a whole.
Yeah. No, I agree. It has been a good tournament. Things unexpected, some things we expected. But back to this game, Alabama UConn, man. It's another interesting thing with Alabama's squad. Again, I feel like they can score 1 through 5.
Yeah,
Um,
they definitely can.
Pringle, Nelson, Estrada, Sears, Griffin, like they're just scorers, man.
Yep.
It's just
And
what they
I
do.
think they're
All
gonna get right cell back. He
okay.
he had a head injury
Yeah.
against Grand Canyon. He
Hmm.
didn't play, I think, the last 2 or 3 games, so he's coming back more than likely after a few tests
Yeah.
to be run tomorrow as we're recording this. So if they get him back, he's another scorer that can shoot from deep as well.
Hmm.
So like I said, they score. I think they were one of the leading teams
Yeah.
in points all season. So that's their proclivity. And I hope I'm using that word correctly. I think I am. But yeah, I mean they score. That's what they do. So if they
Yeah.
can get hot, they can definitely hang with UConn, make it a close game toward the end. And once you get in those last 3 to 5 minutes, it's a battle from there.
Yeah. For sure. I'll say real quick, last thing about Alabama, man. UConn has to watch out for John Stevenson. Freshman from Chapel Hill dropped 19 off the bench against Clemson. He got hot. late.
Yeah. Was
Um,
he the one that was hitting the corner threes?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
really good, tall
He
too.
brought he brought him back into it
Yeah,
because Alabama was struggling.
right.
They were struggling from three, and then he hit like three corner threes
Hmm.
back to back to back and brought him back, and from there they just kept it going.
Exactly, exactly. So you kind of have to watch out for that. But man, yeah, like you mentioned, UConn's defense is it's incredible. So it's gonna be an interesting battle, man. Both games are gonna be great to watch. Try and watch
Yeah,
both back to back.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, no, no, for sure. It's gonna be a great game. The championship game is gonna be Monday night. So once y'all get off work, get the food, get the game ready, put the
And
kids to bed,
yeah, that
turn
game's
the
not starting
TV up
until
like
man,
9, I think.
like 9:30, bro. It's gonna be on
Yeah.
till at least.
But best believe I'll be right there
For sure.
watching it. Y'all follow us on Twitter at TSPJDN. We're gonna be watching the game, giving you live updates, our thoughts, our
Oh,
opinions of the games, and you can, you know, retweet, quote us, reply, and just chat it up with us on Twitter. We might even join a space or two. You never know what we'll do. So
yeah.
follow us on Twitter at TSPJDN. Jeremiah. So last last time we talked about watching what we're listening to. Have you been watching the X-Men series, X-Men 97?
Absolutely, man. X-Men 97 was I mean, we're 3 episodes in. Um, it has shocked
Four.
me. Four episodes in, right?
Yeah.
Um, it really has shocked me from the writing to the animation style to the editing to the voice acting. I mean, everything is spot on. Um,
Yeah.
it's been incredible. I think my so far my favorite episode is two. Um, just dealing with Magneto's kind of story, and I'm not going to
Hmm.
spoil anything, but um, just with Magneto and how things are progressing with his story from the actual seasons back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Very interesting character development story arcs. I need it quickly. I need these Wednesdays to come quickly.
Yeah. No, I admit I have to watch episode 4. I'm probably about to do that as soon as we
Yeah.
cut the video. But
Yeah.
it's been a great series. I
Mhm.
agree. Episode 2 is great.
Yep.
I think my favorite episode so far was the Jean Grey Madeline Pryor episode.
Yep.
Just that whole story arc
Mhm.
and how that can really translate into something even bigger in the future and even something for the live action that they're planning to do in the future with
Right.
the X-Men. That it's a great storyline. It's just I don't know. It's really gripping. It's like
It
for
is.
an animated show, it
It
brings you
has
in.
got
And
yeah.
it's crazy. Disney Plus really did Marvel. They really did an amazing job with this show. You all have to start watching the show. There's every Wednesday. The episode drops every Wednesday, and so we have 6 episodes left.
Yep.
So, you know, great series to watch. Definitely looking forward to watching the rest of the series.
Yeah. Might have to put a partial spoiler warning in the description there. So three. But one more thing I'm watching, and I know you see the crest there. Uh,
Yes.
but finally, this past week, the documentary for the Trouble Winners, Manchester City, was released on Netflix. I've
Oh,
been watching
okay.
that.
Okay.
Not finished
Nice.
with it yet, but it's called Together Trouble Winners, um, documenting the 2022-2023 season. Where Man City won the treble. That's the FA Cup, Premier League, and the Champions League. Won the Champions League for the first time. So it's man, it's emotional. It's crazy seeing the team. Just it's cool seeing behind the scenes. So
Yeah,
I've been watching that on Netflix as well, trying to finish that up. So
nice, nice. For all of you soccer fans, whether you're Man City fans or not, check out Together on Netflix. Um, just recapping the 2022 season,
yep, 22 into
20,
23.
22-23 season for Man City winning the treble. I was, as a Chelsea fan, I was keeping along with it. It was a fantastic run, I admit.
Yeah,
It's not easy to do. Not many teams have done it.
for sure.
So check that out on Netflix. Check out X-Men 97 on Disney Plus. And let us know down in the comment section what you're watching. We might check that out as well.
Yeah,
Any new albums that have dropped, if you're listening to those, let us know. We love music, so we will more than likely listen to those as well.
mhm.
Thank you all so much for watching and listening to this episode of the Talking Sports Podcast. Jeremiah, it's great to be back. Rest up.
For
We can
sure.
watch these games tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to more videos coming up soon. NFL draft and NBA play-in tournament. It's gonna be
Yes.
great.
Yes. It's gonna be great, man. Got a lot of things coming up soon. A lot to be excited about. Y'all be on the lookout for videos coming. Hopefully weekly. We'll let y'all know. Thank y'all so much for watching.
All right. Peace, y'all. Have a good one.
Peace.